Today we are going to study about photosynthetic protista. So these are the protista where we find that they are plant-like structure, means they have plant-like characters. They are the plant-like characters protista. Means they have pigments. They have pigments so that they can produce their own food, and also they have the cell wall. And here we find the cell wall which is cellulosic, So as we are going to discuss the details about the photosynthetic protista, so let's start one by one. So we know that they are the popularly called as the protistian algae. So sometimes we do call them as protistian algae. This is called as the protistian algae. And most of them are phytoplankton. So what do you mean by phytoplanktons? Means they float on the surface of water. Normally they float on the surface of water. So these are the plant that floats on the surface of water. So those organisms that floats on the surface of water, they are called as phytoplanktons. It is plants, so they are called as phytoplankton. If it is animals, they are called as zooplanktons. And let's discuss one by one. The first example we are going to take, that is called as diatoms. Also included in it is called as desmites. Let's start. Now the first photosynthetic protista we are going to discuss, that is called as diatoms. So what are diatoms? Diatoms are normally called as golden brown photosynthetic protista. Very important. These are called as golden brown. The body color is golden brown, and they are photosynthetic protista, means they can prepare their own food. And they are included under, that is called as chrysophytes. So they are included under chrysophytes. And also these chrysophytes includes both diatoms and desmites. So chrysophytes, under chrysophytes we find diatoms is present, also desmite, but we are going to discuss only diatoms. Let's move. These diatoms are both aquatic, found in water, and terrestrial, found in land. So they are found on land and also they are found in water. And the water may be of two types. Either they are fresh water, or some are of marine water, but most of them are marine water. Got it? Now, yes, some are marine, but mostly they are called as marine water. They are marine in nature because they love much as marine life. They support marine life conditions, so most of them are marine in nature. And normally they are very microscopic, they are very minute, and they have different colors. Varying colors are present on it. Due to the presence of pigments, they have varying colors, different colors, and they are microscopic organisms. They are very minute organisms, and mostly they are unicellular. What unicellular? The unicellular eukaryotes. These are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. So normally these are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. They have many colors and they are very small, very minute, can be seen only under the microscope. Means they are very microscopic, very small in nature. These diatoms may have pseudofilaments and colonies. Normally they don't have colonies, but these diatoms sometimes have this group of filaments. So these filaments are actually not true filaments. They only join, but at other time, at some time they will isolate into unicellular form. So this type is either called as their colonial or pseudofilaments, means false filament. It is not a true filament-like structure. And we move that these diatoms, they don't have flagella. Yes, they don't have flagella. Only the flagella is found only in the reproductive stage. So the vegetative state lack flagella. So vegetative cell lacks flagella. But reproductive states do have flagella. And they may be free floating. Yes, we have discussed they are phytoplanktons, means they are mostly found on the surface of water, floating on the surface of water. So those organisms that floats on the surface of water are called as phytoplanktons. So the iron always floats on the surface of water, for which we do call them as the phytoplanktons. These are called as the phytoplanktons. Due to the presence of lightweight lipid, why they float on water? Because the cell wall and the cell membrane, they have lipids. So the boundary lipids, due to the presence of lightweight lipid, they are able to float. So they only float due to the presence of lightweight lipids present on their boundary or on the cell membranes. And the cell wall is covered with silica and transparent silica. That silica very transparent, called as transparent siliceous cells. Means suppose this is the diatom present. So externally the diatom is covered with silica. and this silica is very transparent in nature. So normally diatoms, they have the cell wall, yes, they have cell wall. Above cell wall they have a covering called silicated covering, and this silica is very transparent in nature, so sometimes we do call them as transparent siliceous cell. And this transparent siliceous cell is sometimes known as frustules. Yes, the transparent siliceous cell which is present outside these plates are sometimes called as frustules because these are made up of silica and they are very transparent. And these diatoms covering silica is given a special name that is called as frustules. Depending upon the symmetry, means division of body layer, diatoms may be pennant type or centric type. So what is pennant type? If the body is bilateral symmetry, if body is divided only in two form, it is called as bilateral symmetry, it is called as pennant type. So pennant type means it is bilateral symmetry. So body is bilateral symmetry. So when the body is bilateral symmetry, they are called as pennant type. And normally in this pennant type, the body is bilateral symmetry as we have discussed now, and the best example is called as navicula. So navicula is that diatoms where it is called as the pennant type. The other name of pennant type is bilateral symmetry, means the body is divided into two equal halves. So it is called as bilateral symmetry and is mostly seen in the example that is called as navicular diatoms. And in some the body is centric. The body is centric. In some we find the body centric. If the body is centric, it is called as radial symmetry. This is radial symmetry. Got it? If it is pennant type, it is called as bilateral symmetry. It is centric type, so it is called as radial symmetry. So this radial symmetry is mostly found to be present in the centric organism, a centric form. And the best example is called as Melocyra. So Melocyra is the best example. Navicula is for pennant type and Melocyra is for, that is, centric type. Let's move. The cell wall is differentiated into two halves. Normally, when we discuss about the cell wall, we find that the cell wall is differentiated into two layers. Suppose this the cell wall is present. And another layer present, which is present just below it. Just below it. Just below it. So the cell wall is covered with silica, and these silica are normally present in this format. This format. Got it? And inside we find the cell membrane present. Inside we find the cell membrane present, and within the cell membrane we find the nucleus are present, and around the nucleus we find the membrane bound organelles are present. We'll discuss later, vacuoles present, everything. So normally this is the condition of your, that is called as the diatom cell wall. So the upper part of the cell wall is called as epitheca. So theca is the covering of the cell wall, and the lower part is called as hypotheca. Got it? And they look like a soap box like structure. This is a very important question. They look like a soap box like structure, and both this wall is together is called as theca. So both the wall is called as theca. So as we all know that the diatoms, we find modified cell wall present, where we find this covering of cell wall with impregnated silica is called as theca, and this theca is of two types. One is upper covering, that is called as epitheca, which covers the lower one, that is called as hypotheca, which looks like a soapbox arrangement, and within that we find the cell membrane present. Inside we find the cell membrane present, and we find the cytoplasm present. Yes, here we find the cytoplasms are present, and also within it the cell organelles are present. So this is the basic structure. There is a modified structure of this particular diatoms. So normally what happens, the outer wall is called as epitheca, as we have discussed, and the lower wall is called as hypotheca, as we discussed. So theca is the covering. Theca is the impregnated silica covering present on the cell wall. Upper one is called as epi and lower one is called as hypo. And the arrangement looks like a soap box arrangement. So diatom's best example is that soap box. So if the question comes, soap box arrangement is found in which group of organism, that is the best example, that is called as diatom. So this is, here is the example, and it looks like soap box like arrangement. As we find here what? Now normally here we saw the structure that this is the centric type, this is the soap box type, this is epitheca. The upper one is called as epitheca. The lower one is called as hypotheca. Yes, hypotheca. And they are joined, and this is the intercalary bands are present outsidely. And here also we find the centric type. This is centric type, the central area present. So this is the example of this particular group, that is called as diatoms. So this is a centric type. This is bilateral, that is a soap type. So these are different form of diatoms. Okay. The cell wall encloses a peripheral layer of cytoplasm. What does this mean? For example, as we have discussed, that the cell wall is made up of this epitheca and hypotheca. Yes, epitheca. So within the cell wall, we find the cell membrane present. So this is the cell membrane present. So inside we find the cell membrane is present. And these are the cell wall. The cell wall in the form of epitheca and the cell wall in the form of hypotheca. Got it? Hypotheca. So within it, we find a vacuole is present at the center. So at the center, we find vacuoles are present. So as the vacuole takes the major part at the center, so what happens? The cytoplasm with its organelles moves to the periphery. The cytoplasm moves to the periphery. Got it? The cytoplasm moves to the peripheral layer. So when the cytoplasm moves to the peripheral layer, this condition is called as primordial utricles. Primordial utricles. Got it? Why? Due to the centermost part of vacuoles present, so all the cytoplasm moves towards the periphery, and this type of arrangement is called as primordial utricles. So it is the peripheral arrangement of cytoplasm near to the cell wall. So this arrangement is mostly present in this particular group, that is called as the diatoms. Got it? So we have discussed. Okay. Now let's see. So this peripheral layer is called as primordial utricles, as we have told. And it surrounds the last central vacuoles. Yes, we have discussed that it surrounds the middle where last central vacuole is present. So the cytoplasm moves to the periphery. Due to the movement of cytoplasm to the periphery, what happened? Now this condition is called as primordial utricle due to the last central vacuoles. So now the question comes, sir, if there is a central vacuole is present at the center, then where do the nucleus will present? Yes, the nucleus also hangs upon and on the vacuoles. Got it? The nucleus hangs upon the vacuole. We'll discuss later. Got it? Now let's move. The nucleus lies in the central part of the vacuoles. Let's see how the nucleus is present on this particular vacuoles. So as we have discussed that this is the outermost layer, that is called as the epitheca, and this is the lowermost layer, that is called as the hypotheca. So we got two most layers, epitheca and hypotheca. And for example, this is the cell membrane present as usual. Now the condition comes that at the center we find the vacuoles present. Got it? We find the vacuoles present. So when the vacuole is present at the center, so normally what happens? Now all the cytoplasm moves to the periphery with its organelle. So most of the cytoplasm with its organelle moves to the periphery. So when the cytoplasm moves to the periphery, so this condition is called as primordial utricles. So where do the nucleus will arrange? Yes. So normally what happens? The nucleus arrange at the center. The nucleus is arranged at the center. So this is the nucleus. So nucleus is present on vacuoles. And these are attached to the vacuoles wall with the help of small thread-like structure. So these thread-like structures called as cytoplasmic strand. Means how they arrange. For example, let's take, for example, this is the vacuole present. Got it? Suppose this is the vacuole present. And for example, this is the nucleus present. Got it? So this is the nucleus present. So nucleus is present on the surface of the vacuoles. So it is joined with the vacuolar membrane by cytoplasmic strands. And these cytoplasmic strands, these are what? These are called a cytoplasmic strand. Cytoplasmic strand. Got it? So this cytoplasmic strand hangs the nucleus on the surface of the vacuole, and this is attached with the membrane of the vacuole, that is called as the tonoplast. We know the membrane of the vacuole is called as tonoplast. So from the tonoplast we find cytoplasmic strings are present that holds the nucleus which hangs. So sometimes it is called as hanging nucleus. So it is sometimes called as the hanging nucleus. So nucleus hangs on the surface of the vacuoles and it is attached on its periphery with the help of cytoplasmic strand which attached to that of tonoplast. So this is the arrangement of nucleus which lies at the central vacuoles. It lies on the surface of the central vacuoles. Got it clear? Now let's see. Next point, that it is suspended with the help of, yes, it is suspended with the help of cytoplasmic strands. So these cytoplasmic strands are present which holds the nucleus, and these cytoplasmic strands comes from the vacuolar regions. Got it? So vacuole gives out the cytoplasmic strand that hold the nucleus at the center. So vacuole is present at the center, nucleus is also present at the center, but nucleus hangs on the surface of the vacuoles. Got it? Now let's move. Mode of nutrition is photosynthetic or it is holophytic. So phototropic mode of nutrition is found because they do contain pigments. Let's discuss. The photosynthetic pigments present is chlorophyll A. Yes, due to this special pigment, they can prepare their own food. They also contains chlorophyll C. Very important questions. They contains chlorophyll A. They also contains chlorophyll C also. And in addition to chlorophyll A and C, they also contains beta carotene and fucoxanthin. They provide, the fucoxanthin provide body color. It is golden brown. So this golden brown is due to the presence of this particular fucoxanthin that provides body color. And beta carotene is also found to be present. So we have to remember chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, beta carotene and fucoxanthin is present, which helps in photosynthesis and also helps in imparting the body color. Got it? So these are the pigments present. Now, they contain the special pigments that is called as diatoxanthin. Very important. They contain two special pigments. One is called diatoxanthins. Another one is called diadinoxanthins. Another one is called as diadinoxanthins. These are the two special pigments present. The two carotenoid pigments present special pigments which are the derivatives of this fucoxanthin, that is called as diatoxanthin. Another one is called as diadinoxanthin. Got it? So these are the special pigments found in diatoms. The reserve food materials is oil, yes, and also starch. And starch is present in the form of polysaccharide called as leucocene or chrysolaminarin. Very important. The reserve food material is oil, yes. In addition to oil, they also contains polysaccharides, and the polysaccharide present in diatoms is called as leucocene or is called as chrysolaminarin. So we should remember this particular point. It is very important in NEET exam point of view. And sometimes they contain phosphate granules or volutin granules are present in addition to, but these volutin granules are present in trace amount. They are responsible. The very important point is that 50% of photosynthesis or organic matter in the world, in the biosphere, is given by this particular diatoms. Very important questions. So diatoms gives 50% of organic matter of photosynthesis to our biosphere. So this particular diatom, due to the presence of pigments and due to its maximum speciality and due to its habitat in the marine form, they gives out maximum oxygen and also they give out maximum organic materials to the biosphere. And the movement is by mucilous propulsions, means the body moves. Suppose it's the body, so they have certain mucus present, and through this mucus they move slowly with the help of mucus contraction, body contraction, relaxation. They move on the mucus, and this movement of mucus is called as mucilous propulsions. The movement is by mucilous propulsion. Very important. Now, they are mostly asexual mode of reproduction. They prefer mostly asexual mode of reproduction. That is mostly they use, that is called as binary fission. So binary fission is its normal mode of reproduction. It is the asexual mode of reproductions. So the mode of reproduction is mostly binary fission, and in binary fission what happens, one half of the cell is retained by each of the daughter cells so formed. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Now normally, suppose this is the diatoms present. Got it? Suppose this is the diatoms present. So this is the diatoms present. Got it? And for example, take it that this is the parent diameter. This is the parent diatoms present. Got it? This is the parent. So when binary fission takes place, what happens? One half of the parent epitheca is retained in the daughter. So one half of the parent epitheca is retained on the daughter. Similarly, the other half is also retained in the daughter. That is, hypotheca is also retained in the daughter. So these are the parental part. Now what happens? This is the epitheca part. This is the epitheca part is retained in one daughter, and this is the hypotheca part. And the hypotheca part which is retained in another part. Now what happens? A new format is formed. A new cell wall daughter is arranged. If it is epitheca is the parent, then the new format will be hypotheca. So this is the daughter. This is the new This is the new. Similarly, here also the new. So parent cell wall is retained and only the daughter cell wall is being formed, and this is the new. So this is how what happens. Now the cell wall, the reproduction do takes place like this. Got it? So these are the daughter. So each daughter retains some half of the parent cell wall. One daughter cells retain the epitheca of the parent and produce a new hypotheca, and other part retains the hypotheca parts and produce the new epitheca part. This is how the binary mode of reproduction do takes place. Got it? Now let's move. So binary one half of the cell wall is retained and the other half is also daughter is so formed. Now the other half of the cell was secreted new. Yes, we have discussed now. It is secreted new. Sometimes in adverse condition, they produce a cyst-like spore that is called a statospore. So in adverse condition, to withstand the adverse condition, they produce a resting spore that is called a statospore. Very important. Statospores are found mostly in centric diatoms. So we have discussed Navicula and Melosyra. Melosyra is centric. So in centric diatoms, mostly statospores are found to be present. Very important questions. Now they also reproduce sexually. They also can reproduce sexually. But sexual reproduction is isogamous to anisogamous. So what is isogamous and what is anisogamous? If gamete means union, what does gamete means? Union. If the gametes are same in their size and union, it is called as isogamy. Isogamy. Got it? If the gametes are irregular in their size of union, these are called as anisogamy. Anisogamy. Got it? If one of the gamete is non-motile and other gamete is motile, suppose one gamete is motile, another gamete is non-motile, another one is non-motile. If this is the condition, then it is called as oogamy. So this is called as oogamy. So three mode of sexual reproduction is found to be present. Yes, they do produce gametes. The gametes are of same size. Either the gametes are of different size, but one is motile, another one is immotile. So this particular type is called as oogamy. Irregular gamete size is called as anisogamy, and regular gamete size is called as isogamy. So this is the sexual mode of reproduction. So sexual reproduction, yes, they involve gametic meiosis. Yes, they involve gametic meiosis. Why? Because the plant body we have discussed, it is 2n. If it is 2n, it will produce gamete. It will produce gamete. To produce gamete, they undergoes meiosis. So now we came to know the diatoms are diploid. So as they are diploid, so they go for that is called as gametic meiosis, as we have already discussed. Now let's move. Diatoms generally are diploid. Yes, due to the diploid, any diploid organism, they will go for gametic meiosis. As we all are, animals are diploid. The diploid animals go for gametic meiosis. But if it are haploid, then they go for zygotic meiosis. So diploid life cycle is found to be present in its diatoms. So diplontic life cycle means most part of the life cycle is of 2n type and some part is less part is of n type. So if the maximum part is 2n type, it is called as diplontic. If the maximum part will haploid type, it will be called as haplontic. But in diatoms, it is diploid, for it is called as diplontic mode of life cycles. Now move on to special facts present in diatoms, like the silica cells of dead diatoms are nearly indestructible, unable to destroy. Yes. For example, let's take an example. Suppose this is the water present. The water body is present. And we know diatoms are floating on the surface of water. Diatoms are floating on the surface of water. And this is the bottom of the ocean, that is called as benthic. Suppose when the diatoms die, they fall down. They move down. And there what happens, the silica gets deposited. When the silica gets deposited, they form mountains. And these mountains are mountains of silica. These are mountains of silica. These are mountains of silica. And these silica mountains are called as dolomite. Sometimes we do call them as dolomite. And this dolomite is very gritty, is very rough, very gritty, very hard. So as they are very gritty, very hard, and other characters are also present for which it is mostly used in our economic importance. Let's discuss. So we know when the diatoms when the dead, they accumulates at the seabed, a benthic region, and huge rocks are deposited. Hard cells of diatoms are deposited to form mountains, and these are called as diatomaceous earth. These mountains so formed inside the earth are called as diatomaceous earth. Now what happened? So this diatomaceous earth is mined as a whitish powder. So when we, for economic importance, when we extract the diatoms, these are white powder like structure. So we extract in the form of white powder like structure from the bottom of the sea for economic importance. This white powder is called as diatomite or diatomaceous earth or kesel gur. Got it? The white powder so extracted from the mountains or from the dolomite or from the diatomaceous earth are sometimes called as kesel gur or sometimes called as diatomaceous earth or sometimes called as diatomite. This white powder, very important economic importance powder. Let's discuss. What is this white powder come? They're very rough and they're very gritty, and also it is used in filters in brewing industries. In brewing industry, in alcoholic fermentation industry, we find these are acts as filters. So we use in industries, brewing industries. It is also used in sugar industries for sugar refineries to filter sugars. It is also used to polish metals, toothpaste and bricks, and these are also used as insulating bricks because these dolomites or these diatoms earth are soundproof. So as they are soundproof, they are used in insulating bricks, mostly used in film halls or cinema halls. Also, we find these do helps in manufacture dynamite. Sometimes, not most of them, sometimes some of them are used in manufacture dynamites. It is used as for water glass, sodium silicate and strong acid formations. So many economic importance of this dolomite or diatomaceous earth is found. That is, they have helps in formation of water glass. They are used in the sodium silicate formations. They are used to produce strong acids. So these are the different economic importance. Also sometimes they are used in paints to increase the visibility. Yes, they're very good indicators of water pollutions. Yes, if water is polluted, then we don't find diatoms are present. So due to the absence of diatoms, we can indicate that the water is polluted. So they acts as a good indicator of water pollution. Very important part. And also they have oxospores are zygote formed during sexual event. In some diatomaceous, in some diatoms, we find a sexual spore is produced. Normally spores are produced by asexual reproduction, but in some diatoms, sexual spores are produced, and these sexual spores are called as oxospores. So we do call them as what? Now oxospores, and these are called as zygote formation of spores. And this oxospores helps in restoration of size. It helps in formation or resizing. It helps in restoring its original size. So oxospores helps in restoration, and oxospore is a key spore. It is called as it is a sexual spore. So oxospores are called as sexual spore. Common examples of diatoms, that is called Triceratium, Melocyra as we have discussed, Navicula and Cymbala. Navicula and Cymbala. So these are the common examples of diatoms. So we have discussed the major facts, the general character of diatoms. So now let's discuss some question practice. Let's go for certain question practice. Now let's discuss about certain practice questions on diatoms. The first question is assessment reasoning. That diatoms are regarded as the pearls of the ocean. Yes, because of the siliceous walls. Yes, this is right. The cell walls are made up of cellulose, pectin, which dissolves. So this statement is not right. So the correct answer A is true, but R is false. Now move to the next questions. That was the important contribution of marine. Yes, that's right. The Frustule's composed of silica resist rapidly decompose, and when diatoms die, they remain settled to the bottom of Silica Deposition. Yes, both are right. For which it is true. Got it. So now move on to the next. Diatoms are among the most important primary producers in aquatic ecosystem because of the photosynthetic efficiency and siliceous cells. Yes, it's true. After that the silica frustules accumulates. Yes, they both are true. Diatoms are parasitic unicellular organisms. The cell wall is made of cellulose and pectin. The cells forms deposits known as dolomite. Yes, this is the right answer. Got it. But the fourth question, soapbox arrangement is found in diatoms. Yes. And that is diatomite is found in diatoms. Yes. Okay. So there are a lot of questions present. So you can go to this particular site. In this particular site, you will get ample amount of questions, about 1000 question plus. If you want to go for that online exam, you can know your score, know your rank. And if you want any doubt clearing classes, you can go for online classes, this particular link. If you want to directly download the PDF materials, the mind maps, the worksheets or the MCQs, you can go to this particular link. And mostly per chapter we are giving about, we are having 500 to 1000 questions you get per chapter. You can contact directly for any help, or you can directly download from our channels. So hope you all enjoyed about diatoms. Thank you.